are live now. Also nice. Hello, it's a great day. Welcome to another edition of a Facebook Live on Rise to Greatness. This is Rise to Greatness coming to you on Facebook Live. I'm so happy to have you right here. If you are live right now, you can just nice to have Wallace joining this call right now. I'm going to wait for a couple of people to join us. Wait for more people to join this call. I'm actually a few minutes behind schedule right now. I'll wait for a couple of more people to join in before we finally start sharing tonight. Hello. This is Rise to Greatness. It's your inspirational show. This is where we inspire, empower people to achieve greatness in different spheres and areas of their lives. So if you are joining us for the first time, or if you are just joining us, please share with your friends, so we can have more people joining this call. Do share with your friends so we have more people joining us so we can start off real quick. Okay, thank you, Mike Okafor, for joining this call. It's Rise to Greatness. My name is Emmanuel Aeni. I'm working so much more on the audio, so I'll do a sound check real quick. But if you can hear me, please let's share with friends so we can have more people joining this call. Okay, we have more people joining us right now. We have Sir Michael Owokade joining us. We have Mr. Mike Okafor. We have Mr. Wale Ade. We have Mr. Godwin Oriako. I appreciate you for joining us. Thank you for coming online right now. Thank you everyone for the love. We are just about getting started. It's a seasoning topic we're going to be having tonight. A very seasoning, interesting, hot and seasoning topic, which we started last week, and tonight is just a continuation. But do not worry. If tonight is the first night, do not worry. I'm going to do a quick recap. There will be a quick recap. Oh, I'm trying to get. Okay, good. It's good to know you can hear me. Like I always like to do a sound check. So I like to have one or more people, two more people, one or two or more people to just let me know if you can hear me. So if you can hear me, you can just type 1, or you can just say we can hear you. I can see Sir Michael Owokade can hear me. Yes, if Michael Owokade can hear me, I believe Wale Ade, Michael Okafor, Mike Godwin Oriako can also hear me. But I like to know if you can hear me, just type 1 before I move on right now, before I really fire on. If you can really hear me, do type 1. I think we already have more people now, so we can start off. We can really start off real quick. Yeah, we can start off with 4 or 5 people on the call right now. But if you can hear me for the last time, please do share with me and just say yes or type 1 before I zoom off right now. Now, last week it was interesting. Last week I began to share from the book of the book of subject matter, the science of getting rich, and I did share with us that the science of getting rich was written in the year 1910. I shared with us how this book, written hundreds of years ago, has been transforming lives. Oh, thank you for stating that you can hear me. This book has been transforming lives ever since. It ranks in the book of self-help, positive thinking, wealth creation, or prosperity. It ranks amongst books like Think and Grow Rich, Think Successful, Positive Mental Attitude. Well, this book is actually a book in its own class. It's a book in its own class, written by Wallace Wattles hundreds of years ago. It's a proven mental program for a life of wealth. This book, the main aim of the author writing this book was to share with anyone who would really become wealthy, who wants to become rich. And before we started last week, I shared with the audience then that, see, this book is for people who want to get rich. And rich, we were not going to beat around the bush. We're not going to tell you that this book was for people that want to get rich, have more happiness, joy, love in their life, sunshine. I said no. Yeah, all those two are also good, but the book is specifically for people who want to really have more money, who want more capital, who want to get wealthy, who want to be rich, and rich in the sense, in the real fact of getting rich, having more money. So we did share that if you really want to read this book, you can have two approaches. You can choose to go on a research and begin to study the works of philosophers from which deductions were made, people like Emerson, people like Hegel. You can begin to study the monistic theories and the likes. And I make a very, very easy illustration that you can choose to study the roots. You can choose to go to the roots of it, start studying it, studying the kind of root it has, taproot, or you can just choose to go to the tree and pick the fruits from it and start eating it and start enjoying the fruits. In other words, I shared with us that if you happen to come into your own mansion and it was dark inside your mansion, you wouldn't go up to start studying a book on engineering or electric circuits and start studying about load sharing, about power distribution along your across different rooms in your building. You wouldn't study electricity. What you do if you were in the dark room was you were just going to walk up to wherever you have a socket and you will just flip the switch open, flip the switch on, and then the light comes on. Exactly. If you were in a dark room, all you had to do was just to go walk up to the switch and flip the switch on and have the switch right on. And that was what we learned from the last class, the last training, the last session. We said if you really need money, you can choose to go and study philosophies and all books and all that, or you can just choose to go through the principles that work and then apply it, get rich and get wealthy. And that was the central theme, the central message at the beginning of this book, which is shared there. I mentioned a very valuable quote which the author put. He said, get rich first. And I love that quote. I said, get rich first, philosophize later. So if you're really noting this, get rich first, philosophize later. In other words, get rich and forget the stories. Forget the stories, get rich first. Then when you get rich, you can start studying the stories. And this book, note that the work has been done for you, the research has been done. All you need to do is believe with certainty that this is a book you need to get rich. Read this book and apply the principles. Because the author of the opening states with certainty that you can take this to the bank, that once you read this book, you will get rich, and you practice the things inside, you will get rich. So Do not look for any other thing anywhere. Just use this book and get it. So in chapter 1, I went on to share with us the main message in the book, the right to get rich. I did share that the right to get rich, that wealth is one of the key indicators of success. When we talk about success, I for one usually teach in my classes and my seminars, online classes, offline and online. And of course, I'll be sharing in my upcoming class in Lagos, Rise to Greatness seminar, personal and financial mastery class. I will be sharing again on the 7 facts, seven wheels of life and success, how to achieve success in the 7 areas of life in my success formula class, the success formula training. I did share with us that success has to be achieved in the 7 areas of life. But majorly, we need to note that we cannot focus on success, financial success, and forget other areas. While at the same time, exactly, thank you for that. Get rich first, philosophize later. And I love that. Thank you, Mr. Michael Owokali, for that. So point now is that if you really want to really get rich, you should note that success permits every area, different areas of your life, but financial success is one of the very vital key or indicators of success. How do I mean? If you are financially buoyant, if you are very, very rich, you will, to a very good extent, enjoy your marriage more. Someone actually mentioned something some years ago before I got married, which I really noted then. Said, romance without finance is frustration. That is, when you have finance, you enjoy romance more. In your romantic relationship, in your marriage, if you have finance, you enjoy romance more. And if there is no finance, the person said, if there is no finance, romance does something, romance jumps out of the window. Well, that will be actually peculiar or particular to different scenarios. But we don't need to really beat around the bush. Success is actually good, is actually something you want in different areas, but at the same time, wealth is one of the key indicators of a successful life. And so, in the first part of the book, The Right to be Rich, we stated and we learned from the book that it's your right to be rich. Why? You need to be wealthy, because to really develop and grow in life, you need money to achieve things. You need money to pay for the relevant skills that you need to learn. You need money to really get the right education. You need money to travel and see the world. You need money to develop talents. Last week I was speaking somewhere. I was speaking in an institution of learning. I was sharing with the undergraduates there about developing talent. But to a very large extent, if you really develop talent, according to the lessons in the book in chapter 1, you need money to learn. You need money to really travel and see the world. You need money to grow in your body, your soul, and spirit. And because it's in the nature of life to always be on the increase, to grow, that means it's natural that you get rich so you can grow fully. It's natural that you get rich so you can grow fully. See, one of the opening statements in the chapter 1, I want us to notice this. Thank you, Zainab Damole, for coming on board right now. And tonight we are sharing from the book The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And right now I'm still doing a recap from what we did last week, the chapter 1. So I want us to know this opening statement. So the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. So that's the basis. No man can rise to his greatest possible height in talent, soul development, even spiritually, if you don't get rich. If you are rich, you can say, okay, I want to grow spiritually. I want to travel if you're a Muslim, I want to travel to Mecca. I want to go for Hajj. Or if you are a Christian, you can say, I want to go to Jerusalem. Or if you are Buddhist or Hindu, you might say, I want to go to India. I want to go on a pilgrimage. So if you really are rich, you can really achieve what you want to achieve as long as your body is concerned. You can eat good food, stay healthy, you can travel the world, you can meditate in great places, you can. So that seals it. Get rich first, philosophize later, but it is your right to be rich. And how will you also know that it's your right to be rich? There is a desire in every human being to be rich. If any man is not is not desiring to be rich, that man or woman is not normal. So the fact that you desire to be rich means that there is a desire in you to be rich. And according to this man, Wallace, he mentioned that, see, the reason why you want to get rich, the reason why you have that desire is that there is a possibility for you to be wealthy, to be rich. Why? Because desire is possibility seeking expression. Desire is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. So there is a possibility in you that is seeking expression, and that is why you really are feeling like getting rich. It is function seeking performance. It's function seeking performance. So you will not desire to be rich if it were not possible. And the fact that it's possible is a fact that you have that desire. So to live fully in soul, man must have love. We have mentioned about growing in body, you need money. Growing spiritually, you need body. Even in soul too. If you really want to love, I mentioned that in relationship, you need money. And the powerful quote here says, love is denied expression by poverty. Love is denied expression by poverty. You cannot buy the good things, the best things of life for the people you love, your wife, your spouse, your children, your friends, your parents. You can't buy them the best things if you are not rich. And that's why you need to be rich. If you desire to be rich, that desire means it's possible. Now to the second part, chapter 2. There is a science of getting rich. That's the second part. And in this second part, we shared on the reason why you need to know that there is a science of getting rich. We share that 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 4. That's mathematics. I did mention calculus. I did go on to mention about arithmetic. And at the beginning of this book, the chapter 2 says there is a science of getting rich, and it is an exact science. That is, it's short banker. If it's a science, in school we learned about sciences. We learned to do science by experiments. Why? The experiments have been carried out like thousands of times before we even came there, before we got on the school. They're carried out by scientists, by philosophers. They've already arrived at the conclusions. The theories were there, the hypotheses were there. You understand? We only have to go on and carry out the same experiments that have been carried out over and over to get certain results. So the same way, this book actually shares that getting rich is an exact science. It's a sure science. It's just like arithmetic. You follow the principles, you follow the processes of acquiring riches, you follow the laws, you learn them, you obey them, no matter who you are, no matter your level of education, no matter where you live, no matter your level of talent, your learning, your degrees or no degrees. If you know these rules, you will get rich. You will get rich in sure manner. Okay. Breaking transmission. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That must be the network. I try to. Okay. Michael Owokade says there's breaking transmission. Okay, can someone hear me now before I go on? If you can hear me, I want a 1. If you can hear me, you can just type 1. If you cannot hear, a 0. If you can hear me, 1. If you cannot hear me, you can just type 2. But if you can hear, 1. Before I move on, we are still on chapter 2 of this book, The Science of Getting Rich. And I'm sharing, extracting lessons learned from the second part, chapter 2 of this book. My name is Emmanuel Ayeni. I am an engineer and inspirational speaker. I'm an inspirational speaker and author of 4 books on the subject of personal development and financial intelligence. I'm the facilitator of the Personal and Financial Mastery class on Facebook. I'm also the host of the Rise to Greatness shows online and offline. I'm the convener of the Rise to Greatness seminar, the first live paid seminar coming up in Lagos on the 15th of December 2018, this Saturday. If you really want to be at this seminar, you can get the ticket for 3,000 naira, and I share the link up there for you to get the ticket. So before we move on, I want to know if you can hear me. If you can really hear me before I move on, can you type 1? I'll wait for signal to know if people can hear me and be sure the network is good here. I want to be sure the network is good. I want to be sure the network is good. Is network good now? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, okay. Okay. If you can hear me, do type 1. Okay. Just ensure that we have more. I tried so much to shut out all the gen noise, and so I had all the windows closed there. That might impact network a bit, but not to a very large extent. So if you can hear me, do type 1 before I continue in our study of the science of getting rich. Okay, I have Johnny Daniel is listening here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming online. I'd like to know if someone is hearing me. If you can hear me, do type 1 before I continue. My name is Emmanuel Ayeni. I'm an engineer, inspirational speaker, and author of 4 books on personal development and financial intelligence. If you can hear me tonight, do type 1, because tonight we are sharing a very interesting topic. It's a review or study together of the science of getting rich, a proven mentor program to a life of wealth by Wallace Wattles. And this is a book that has been written for over hundreds of years ago. And tonight we are sharing basically on lessons from the book. And I began with a recap from chapter 1, where I said that it's your right to be rich, and that feeling of getting more money, being rich, is just desire seeking, function seeking performance, and desire seeking manifestation. And in chapter 2, we did go on to share that ownership of money and property comes as a result of doing things in a certain way. But getting rich is an exact science, and if you obey these rules, you will infallibly get rich. Any man can learn to do things in a certain way, no matter his environment, no matter the neighborhood. Why? Because in the same neighborhood you have the rich and the poor people, and so wherever you are, it means if people are succeeding in your country, in your state, you can succeed too. You only need to learn to do things in a certain way. It's good to have my boss on the call right now. This is my boss, Sir Samuel Babatunde. This is Coach Samuel Babatunde Bafemi on the line now. Tonight we have been looking at a very interesting topic, lessons from the science of getting rich by Wallace Wattles. And we did share this is a recap actually from the first 2 chapters we did last week. And we did share that in chapter 1, the lesson is we have the right to be rich. Why? Because when you feel like getting rich, when you think you want more money, there is something in you. That desire is actually possibility seeking manifestation or function that is seeking performance. So the fact that you desire to get rich means that it is possible, it's achievable. If you follow the rules and laws, you would get rich in a sure way. And that's the subject of chapter 2. Chapter 2 says there is a science of getting rich. Just like simple arithmetic. We have 1 plus 1 giving us 2. The same way, there are processes, there are laws, there are rules in acquiring riches, in getting rich. And which, if the rules are learned, if they are obeyed, then with precise, sure, exact, and sure certainty, you will get rich. In a sure way, you will get rich, infallibly rich. You will be infallibly rich. Why? Because you have obeyed the rules. And I did mention also that getting rich is not a matter of your environment. It's not a matter of talent. Of course, it's good to be where the wealthy people are. It's good to be in a good city. But if you look so well at cities, you see people, broke people in New York, wealthy people in New York. See broke people in Lagos, wealthy people in Lagos. You see poor people in the hinterlands and very rich people in the hinterlands. The other day, I traveled to a particular village, and I was having a conversation, with a man I hadn't seen in a long time. And this man had just bought this, he just bought this brand new car, even though he lived in that village. He had just bought this brand new car. And because I know how hardworking or smart working this man is, I knew that this man, apart from every other thing he does things in a certain way. Because if you do things in a certain way, you will get rich. The man was in a couple of businesses that I was aware of, and apart from that, you could have people in those same businesses not making money. So it's not really a matter of environment. It's not really a matter of talent. Yeah, talent, environments, they also help, but you have to do things in a certain way to really get rich. And note, Mr. Wallace says this. Mr. Wallace says the ability to do things in this certain way is not solely due to the possession of talent. Can you imagine? He said, for many people who have great talent remain poor, while other people who have very little talent get rich. John C. Maxwell wrote this interesting book about the title, Talent is Not Enough. And there's a very popular quote which I like. It says, when talent gets lazy, hard work will always trump talent every time. That is, if talent refuses to show up at the gym, if talent refuses to show up at the rehearsals, if talent refuses to show up at the grind, hard work keeps grinding. The hardworking guy keeps grinding even though he has little talent. Every day, every time, he's going to trump the guy with the talent because he's outworking the guy with the talent. He's outworking the guy in the good environment. So he's creating his own environment wherever he is. He's doing things in a certain way. So let's note that if you study the rich people who have gotten rich, you discover most times it's not that they're exceptionally brilliant. Most of them, the rich people of the world, like, the billionaires of the world, like Bill Gates, not that they have different degrees. In fact, you have a couple of them that were dropouts. I respect education. I always say that anytime I speak that I respect education. I've been blessed to have a couple of degrees, but relevant education is much more important. And doing things in a certain way is actually very vital in acquisition of riches, no matter how educated you are. So getting rich is not the result of saving or thrift. It's not actually about saving money, putting money away. You can save money, but if you don't do things in a certain way, you might not even break through when it comes to wealth. So you can see people that spend in such a way, but they do things in a certain way. Yeah, I'm an advocate of saving, of financial. I teach I study and I teach financial intelligence. I practice financial intelligence to a good extent. But at the same time, when it comes to getting really rich, having lots of money, there is a limit to how much you can save. You can only save based on your income, your current level of income. But when you begin to do things in a certain way, yes, you can now save more. Why? Because you now have more money coming in. So Mr. Wallace was just saying here, Mr. Wattles was saying here that getting rich is an exercise. So follow the rules, follow these processes, and you'll get rich. Of course, we need to note also there's a caveat here. Thank you, Mr. Adigun Emmanuel, for joining in. Oh, that's nice in the background. Okay, so you will note that if you really, we need to note, sorry, getting rich involves the necessity of dealing with men. There are some things that Mr. Wallace shares here as we wrap up this second part. The second part, we need to know that, of course, whoever will get rich needs to have certain levels of acumen, the ability to read, the ability to learn actually, not really read, because we have people that can't read. But in this world right now, anybody that is not reading, you can read, but you are not reading. You are not really learning new things. You are not different from someone who cannot read at all. And you have people that can't read, but they keep learning. And because they keep learning, they're able to have access to the information and they can really get rich. So let's note here that people's skills are very important also. Certain levels of skills are important. Location also might be important. But much more than that, getting rich is actually a matter of doing things in a certain way. Also know that you do best in a business which you like. Of course, there is a place of passion. You do best in the business of your talents. You will make more money in the business of your talent, but please note, you might not have a talent for something. But if you do things in a certain way, you get in mastery in that area, and you do things in a certain way, you will get rich. This is a way to make, if you want capital to do business, this is a way to really raise capital. No one is prevented from getting rich by lack of capital. That's another caveat here. Mr. Wallace shares here that the fact that you don't have capital doesn't mean you cannot become rich. You can start from where you are, from the job you have, from whatever you make. You can start from there to get rich if you do things in a certain way. So I wrap up this second part here and say you can do so by beginning in your present business and in your present location to do things in a certain way. So let's note this now, that you can begin to do things in a certain way no matter where you are. From where you are, you can start. Now, welcome everyone to Rise to Greatness, and we have been sharing on the science of getting rich. My name is Emmanuel Laeni. I am an engineer, an inspirational speaker. It's my main mission. I'm the author of 4 books on subject of personal development and financial intelligence, and it's usually my main passion to inspire, empower, motivate, and influence people to achieving greatness in different spheres of life. And much more than that, I love to help people achieve financial freedom by raising their financial intelligence. And tonight, we have been sharing on Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And in chapter 3 of this book, which we are going up afresh right now, is Opportunity Monopolized? That's the title. Is Opportunity Monopolized? And I want to share a few things here. Let's know that you can't be poor. This is a book I've read this book now after my mentor shared this book with us a couple of years ago. My mentor taught us from this book a couple of times now. And I've read this book for about 5 times now. This is about my 5th time of reading this book. This year, I'm reading this book for the 5th time. And I keep reading it because I keep learning each time. And in this chapter 3, I scribbled on this part of the opening here that you can't be poor by losing your job or not doing a particular business. I'll pause there. I'll pause there. And I'll repeat again. You can never be poor because you've lost your job. You can never be poor because you've lost your job or you are not doing a particular business. I know what I'm talking about here. I work on a job. I've worked on a job for over 8 years now, or close to 8 years. And those 8 years, I've lost my job at a particular point in time. When my company was downsizing or was closing up my department, and the department was taken offshore. So when I tell you, I came about this conclusion at the point when I was reading this book. I noted there that you can never be poor by losing your job or by not doing a particular business. Why? Because if you lose your job, you can always get another job. Or if you lose your job, you can always find some other opportunities around you or within you. And that is the subject of chapter 3 of this book. I will dwell so much more on chapter 3 today because I want us to really learn, to really dig the gold out of this chapter 3. Few pages in chapter 3, but I'm going to share lessons from it. If you do not let people cajole you that, see, if you don't do this business now, this particular one right now, the heavens will fall, the skies will fall, you'll be poor forever. No. But there's a caveat also, that you must be able to know when trends are moving. Because by moving into that trend, sure, you can be able to take a position. For instance, there was a time some people bought Bitcoin at, $100 or less than that many years ago. People that moved into that trend, into that wave, they made so much money. But note also that people that did not move into it at that time too are not poor forever, because there became another wave. In fact, right now there are other waves also. There are other waves also for people that participate deeply in that area. They still make money at different areas. What am I talking about? What I'm saying is, there are different trends of time. As we'll see in this chapter now, different trends in time that you can buy into, but you should not be cajoled to think out of scarcity or to think out of fear that if you lose your job, you are done for. No, you should not commit suicide because you've lost your job or because you missed a particular business opportunity. Why? Because if you open your eyes more, you will find millions or gazillion opportunities around you. So there are always other channels open to you. There is always a space or abundance all around you. Wealth exists in the universe in abundance. So these are scribbles from my notes now, but let's go on. Let's see what Mr. Wattles is saying. The beginning of this book says, no man is kept poor because opportunity has been taken away from him, because other people have monopolized the wealth and have put a fence around it. Let's note, no man can become poor because opportunity has been taken away from him, because other people have monopolized the wealth and have put a fence around it. So there is no such thing as monopolized opportunity. Let's note that. So let's note, if you are listening to me tonight, Aburusha de Glory, thanks for joining this call right now. And tonight we'll be sharing on the science of getting rich. Thank you, sir, for coming on board. In this chapter 3, the title is a question, is opportunity monopolized? Note, opportunity is not monopolized. There was a time that people got into real business. There was a time that people got into different parts of transportation. There are some now, the trend might be Uber now, might be Taxify. Yeah, if you can catch in on that trend, good. If you can't catch in on that trend, there are other opportunities if you really look around. There are other opportunities that are available to you if you look around. There's other opportunities now that you can really look into. But let's note something right now, right? I want us to know something. There is something, that is a particular point here that Mr. Wallace made. He said, if you miss the opportunity or the trend in real business, you can find another opportunity in food stuff. And like I said, if you miss opportunity in Bitcoin, you can find an opportunity in alternative coin. I'm not actually advertising some other. You need to. This is not an investment advisory class. I'm teaching here tonight. We are sharing. We are learning on principles. And so, please, if you will go into any business, you should do your own proper investigation. I like to always add. So, at different points in time, opportunity, the tides of opportunity set in different directions. And that's a lesson we are learning from this part now. The tides of opportunity will set in different directions at different points in time, and which I'll share that. So, things will evolve. If you look in your town, if you look in our country, all over the world, there will be different points in time that things change. But we should note that we can always buy into different opportunities at different times. So you want to ask yourself some questions. Where is the trend today? Where is a trend going to be in the next 5 years? Where is the trend going to be in the next 10 years, 20 years? Is it going to be in telecoms? Is it going to be in power? Is it going to be in construction? Is it going to be in software applications? Is it going to be in sales? Is it going to be? And also, we need to note that sales never goes out of trend, because sales will never be out of trend. No matter the niche, sales will always go on. So, but we need to note here, the point here is that there is abundance of opportunity. There is abundance of opportunity for any man who can study the trend and who will go with the trend instead of trying to swim against it. That's a principle that Wallace taught here. Yeah, it's good. At times you want to look at the crowd and go against what the crowd is doing. Yeah, that is good in terms of innovation, creativity. Oh, we have here Rotimi Olatunji Aweyemi. Thank you, sir, Mr. Rotimi Olatunji, for coming online. I'll be sharing from this amazing book, Science of Getting Rich, by Wallace D. Wattles. And today we've done a recap, and in chapter 3, is opportunity monopolized? We are sharing on the concept of opportunity. Remember, opportunity abounds in different places. There is abundance of opportunity for the man who will go with the tide instead of trying to swim against it. So no matter where you are right now, in your niche, in your field, there will always be opportunity. There will always be opportunity. So if the workers, or if the factory workers are able to study where they are, they will find opportunities there. They will find opportunities there. And let's also note that the working class, according to this book actually, Mr. Wallace shares that the working class may become, I love this part, and I'll take it slowly. I love this part. I want to take it slowly. The working class may become the master class. Thank you, Julie Uche, for joining. It's great having you on Rise to Greatness. The working class may become the master class whenever they will begin to do things in a certain way. The law of wealth is the same for them as it is for all others. Let's note this. One day, one of my mentors, a very wonderful mentor that's taught me so much about financial intelligence, he did share with me in his office, and he said something. And I was consulting with him one time. I was sharing with me. I was asking so many questions, and he did share with me. He said, same principles, different applications. Same principles, different applications. So Mr. Wattles also notes here. He says, the law of wealth is the same for the rich and for the poor. If any man, any woman, anywhere, at any time, will learn to do things in a certain way, he or she will get rich with precision. It's an exact science. So the question is, are you ready to learn the law of wealth? Are you ready to follow the tide of opportunity? Are you ready? Because this book is actually going to show you how. And so as we delve more into this issue of opportunity, we need to note, no one is kept in poverty by a shortness in the supply of riches. Man, I love that part. It still goes on to further reinforce the fact that there is abundance everywhere. See, there is abundance. A whole palace can be built for all the families in the world, from all the resources that we have in the world right now, and it will not be exhausted. Why? Because there is abundance. See, there is so much gold, so much money in the world right now to travel around the world for everyone who reaches for it. But the main thing is, if most times we are not reaching for it, or we are not reaching for enough or more than enough of what we want or what we need. So once we understand this, we will really know that the visible supply, according to Mr. Wattles here, the visible supply is actually practically inexhaustible. It's it cannot be exhausted. You cannot finish it. The world has so much money, the wool, the clothing, the food, the water, so much. They are in vast supply. They are not going. See, if the treasures that we have already, if they get used up, more will be created. If the if the trees if the trees get used up, more will be created. And in fact, according to this book, we will get to another point in evolution that we will not really need anything that is out of supply again. If coal were to be in need, or were to be needed for transportation, then more coals will be available, more coals will be made, will be created. And if we have gotten past the era of coal, and now we are going to the era of crude oil, more crude oil will be created. And if we are in that thinking that crude oil might be used up, then more crude oil will be produced. Or, as a matter of fact, evolution will come. Things will evolve. Change will come in such a way that we will really need no more crude oil for running of vehicles. And now, it's quite true now, because we now have electric vehicles, and we even have more advancement coming up in more years, in the coming years in that area, even much more than we have right now. So the point here is that everything you see on earth is made from one original substance, out of which all things produce or proceed. All things are produced from one original substance. There is a substance from in which all things are formed. There's a substance from which all things are. So if the things we have visibly supplied are used up, more will be created, and more so, there are also invisible substances that cannot be used up. They can't be used up. And so there is an interesting part here. It says nature is an inexhaustible storehouse of riches. I love this part, and I want to take it slowly. It says nature is an inexhaustible storehouse of riches. The supply will never run short. Original substance is alive with creative energy and is constantly producing more forms. Now think about this. A scientist once told us that over 70 million cells are being destroyed in our body. Millions of cells are being destroyed in our body in a day. And much more cells are being produced every day. This is to show us that there is no scarcity in nature. If some things are used up, more will be created. More will be created. More will be created. And they are created faster than we can use. So until we are able to understand that, when we are able to understand that, the easier it is for us to be able to manifest more wealth, to be able to get on the creative plane. So nature is an inexhaustible storehouse of riches. The supply will never run short. Original substance is alive with creative energy, and it's constantly producing more forms. So I already shared on that don't be cajoled to think that opportunities are taken away, or the opportunities are in short supply. There are abundant business opportunities right now. There will be more even right now, and more in the new year. Yes, as AI is actually taking over a lot of things now. Yeah, there will be a lot of downsizing. There will be a lot of change in job roles due to artificial intelligence. But I need you to know also that artificial intelligence, knowledge-based systems, robotics, will create more virtual reality, data mining, and a lot of subsystems or substructures under artificial intelligence. We actually make more jobs available, more skilled, more specialized jobs available. And if we follow the trend of opportunity, we can never, if you follow the trend of opportunity, you can never be out of business. You will always make more money. You always get rich. You will get rich. You will do things in a certain way, and you will certainly get rich. So I like to note 3 more points as I wrap up this part. The formless substance is intelligent. It is stuff which thinks. It is alive. It is always impelled towards more life. Note, Mr. Wattles says here that it is a natural and inherent impulse of life to seek to live more. It's natural. It's a tendency of life to want to grow more. Babies become infants become babies, they become toddlers, they become children, they grow more. Children become adults. It's the order of life to grow more. It's in the nature of life to grow more. So it's the nature of things to grow, to expand. Intelligence, we want to enlarge itself. Consciousness, we want to extend its boundaries and find full expression. So also in life too. Growth is normal in life. So it's natural and normal for you to want to get rich. And that consciousness that is trying to expand in you means that there is space for it. Means that it's possible for it to what? To reach out and get more of life. To get rich. So it's possible. It's possible. Why? Because there are opportunities. The universe is a great living presence. It's always moving towards more life and fuller functioning. So nature is formed for the advancement of life. Its impelling motive is the increase of life. So there can be no lack. You see, this book ends in this chapter. It ends this chapter at this point. It said, there can be no lack unless God is to contradict himself or nullify his own works. So we need to note here that if you can act and think in a certain way, you will get rich. You will get rich. You are not kept poor by lack of opportunity, or maybe because opportunities or riches or opportunities are in short supply. No. You can say, okay, I don't have the connections, I don't have this. You are not kept poor by lack of connections, riches, opportunities that are in short supply. No, they are not in short supply. They are not in short supply. The resources of the formless substance are in abundant supply. And they will be at your command. And they will be at the command of the person that can think and act in a certain way. And that's the main point in chapter 3. And the chapter 4, I don't like to bore you with so much tonight. So I know you've been enjoying this class. I believe you've really been able to find more value. So if you found more value on this call, can you just type 1? Because tonight we have really gradually come to the end of tonight's session on this book review of The Science of Getting Rich. And tomorrow again by 9 p.m. I would like to go on. I'll do less on the overview of what we've done, and we'll go on to read on chapter 4 and 5. We'll share lessons on chapter 4 and 5 tomorrow. So if you really learned something, can you please type 1? I have Peace Ode coming on board right now. Thank you, Peace Ode, for coming on board right now. Tonight we've been able to learn the science of getting rich. We've been able to share from the first 3 chapters. We shared on the right to get rich, that it's your right to be rich, to be wealthy, to have more money. And we did share in chapter 2 that there is a science to getting rich, while in chapter 3 we share that there is a science in getting rich, and it's a science that if you apply, you get rich. And chapter 3 states that there is no There is no lack of opportunities. There is no monopoly of opportunity. Opportunity is not monopolized. It's in abundant supply. And so, thank you very much. We've come to the end of tonight's class. If you really share, if you really understand, if you really gotten value, I want you to share this with friends. You can share this on your wall. You can share it. You can just click the share button. And if you would like to know, when we'll go live tomorrow, just hit the follow button. Hit the follow button around this video, and then you can follow. Be sure you're following this account so you can know when we go live. But do share with friends. Let's spread the knowledge of wealth. Let's spread the financial intelligence. Let's spread wealth creation concepts. Let's share more knowledge that can inspire and empower more people. So I appreciate you all for coming on board. Thank you, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Laeni, and see you in the next session. Keep rising to greatness. Bye for now.